everyone, welcome to another episode of Sam's Corner, and today we're going to talk about some investment vehicles. The first one we're going to discuss is stocks. Now, a stock is an equity investment that represents partial ownership. Stocks have yielded investors great returns over the years. So that's why you hear the most about them. You hear people talking about stocks all the time because overall stocks have been excellent performers. There are different kinds of stocks. Stocks have different valuations. You hear a lot of time, like may hear large cap stocks, and those are the ones that really are just huge companies like Microsoft, Starbucks. You can name any brand that you normally are familiar with, and they basically are large cap stocks. But we'll go deeper into the different types of stocks, capitalization, all of those things. This video is just to give you a little overview so that you can kind of know what it is and become familiar with it. You know, for me, I believe it's important to do these kind of soft introductions. Being an educator, I like that. Yeah, I'm an educator. You know, I love it when you're just doing stuff and you have those aha moments. But being an educator, what I've learned is you sometimes need to introduce a topic just a little bit and then come back to it, and you may have to circle several times. Why? Because repetition is still the best teacher. A lot of times, if you notice, and especially those of us who've been working forever, people want to tell you something one time, just one time, and then expect you to be a master of it and be able to do it and know everything. We're like, but I already told you that. Yeah, but you told me that one time. And if I'm supposed to remember that one thing out of the 500 things you told me in that time, that doesn't make any sense. And I think that's a problem. So, and of course, everyone learns differently. But I've learned that we all have to kind of be introduced to things slowly. Some of you watching may know a lot. Some of you be like, I don't know a damn thing. That's fine. Either way, my goal here is to help you feel more comfortable and to educate you so that you can make more informed decisions. That's what education, that's what this knowledge thing is about. So that when you apply what you've learned to your life, you can make better choices. And so my goal here is to the best of my abilities, pass on the knowledge that I have and that I gain and pass it on to you so that you can learn it, apply it to your life, and then you can pass it along to others. So, yeah, I kind of went off topic, but I like what I said. So anyway, next are bonds. And bonds are a fixed income instrument that represent a loan or IOU. And they're all different types. They're junk bonds, which are kind of high yielding bonds, but there's a lot of riskiness involved. Corporations issue bonds during this COVID situation. Starbucks, a lot of them offered bonds in order to raise additional capital. The treasuries, they offer bonds as well. And bonds are basically like an IOU. Think of it like a loan, basically. You're saying, hey, I'll give you this amount of money. Well, if you give me this amount of money, I'll pay you your principal back plus this interest rate. And that's basically what bonds are. And bonds are another useful investment instrument if you want to preserve your capital, but you want it to gain a little bit, but you still want to maintain the amount that you put into it. Bonds can be useful. You can buy bonds and use them for when your kids go to college. You can use it for books. I mean, you can use it for many things. You can buy bonds now, and so maybe when your child gets married, you can cash those bonds out and help pay for the wedding. Or if there's any other type of life event or the tuition or anything else, bonds are a great way to stack away some cash now and then use it later on. And there are different types of bonds, and we'll go a lot more deeper into those. Now, a mutual fund. A mutual fund is an investment program funded by shareholders that trade a diversified holding and is professionally managed. And I like mutual funds, especially for beginning investors, because a lot of time I've seen people like, well, if I invest in, some people think diversification is if I invest in Merck and I invest in Gilead. Now they both have different things, but they're basically in the same industry. And with diversification, you want to invest in companies that are not in the same industry. You want to hedge your investments. And that's just another thing of saying, like, protecting your investment. So for example, you would not invest in McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell. You wouldn't invest in a whole bunch of, like, let's say you love fast food. You wouldn't invest in all of those fast food industries, because if something happens that, let's say there's a meat shortage and that hits the industry, well, guess what? Your investments are going to tank, and you don't want that. So that's why you invest in other industries to hedge your bets. With a mutual fund, the great thing about it is you get diversity. Mutual funds, the great thing about them, well, I'll go into that mutual funds in another video. But the great thing about it is, and the one thing I want to stress, is diversification, because they invest in all kinds of stocks. But number two, it's also professionally managed. And the great thing about that is, a lot of times for individual investors, for me, I really want to actively manage my own portfolio. And I encourage you all, if you want to do the same. But mutual funds can help you diversify your holdings. And it's professionally managed. And sometimes it feels a little bit more easier, and it feels a little bit more comfortable when you know that there's somebody else who knows more than you who's managing your investment. But mutual funds allow you that diversification and that professional management. But we'll talk about mutual funds in a separate video. The next investment are EFTs, and these are kind of newer. A lot of people don't know about them, but basically what they are, they're exchange traded funds. They're not mutual funds. They're a whole different kind of class. And what happens is, with an exchange traded fund, the securities in that fund normally mirror a stock exchange. So you may have one that mirrors the Dow Jones, or mirrors the S&P 500, or the NASDAQ, or the Russell 2000. So you'll have different funds, these exchange traded funds, that mirror these exchanges. Now the difference between them and a mutual fund, the mutual fund, they diversify based on their portfolio, whatever they want to invest in. With these exchange traded funds, the securities are locked into whatever exchange that they mirror. So that's the only difference. With mutual funds, the sky's the limit. With exchange traded funds, they mirror those. And those can have a benefit, especially if the exchanges overall are seeing an uptick and things are doing good. Those can be a good investment as well. So again, just do your research, learn more about them. And I always encourage, please do your research. Please learn more. Please learn enough until you feel comfortable, until you feel like you understand. Because once you understand something, then you'll be able to make a more solid decision. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is Bitcoin, because I think that we're going to see cryptocurrency become more of a standard. So Bitcoin is a digital currency that records transactions in the units of that currency. So what I've noticed this year when I filed my taxes was that on the return it asked, did you invest in Bitcoin? A lot of people are investing in Bitcoins. Cryptocurrency, I think, is going to become the new wave. The difference between the dollar and cryptocurrency is that cryptocurrency is not backed by a bank. And I've also noticed, I was watching CNBC about, I want to say, a week or two ago, and China is also looking into cryptocurrencies. So I think we're going to see a wave or a change in having currency that is not necessarily backed by a bank. And I think that's going to be something very interesting to see how that plays out in these financial markets. So you can invest in Bitcoin. The last time I looked, it was like, I think around 99,400, something along those lines. But again, I always encourage you to do your research and learn more. And there are other investment types, but I just wanted to bring these 5 to your attention. Read, learn more. Sometimes, a lot of times, I understand people don't want to just take a book and read, and I get that, but we're in this technology age. You can listen to videos, you can do more, whatever you can to enhance your knowledge base. That's always important. So I want to say thank you for watching. Remember, you are the master of your own financial ship. You're going to have to learn some stuff. And I know it's going to a financial planner is great. I highly recommend it. Getting that type of education and advice is important, but I keep saying it and I will continue to say it. Always make sure that you know something. Don't go in there looking like a deer in headlights. That doesn't help you. And sometimes that is how people get taken advantage of. So to prevent that, do your research, at least know something, throw out a little jargon, a little terminology, and I'm going to tell you this, because I've done it countless times and it's beautiful. You throw that out there, they look, and then the conversation shifts. Yeah, because you're not going to take advantage of me. I know too much. You don't met the wrong one. And that's what I'm encouraging you all to do. That's why no matter what you do, always arm yourself with as much knowledge as you possibly can. And make sure you understand even the basics. Understanding the basics is still more than enough to help you at least have some insight and to stop, help from not being taken advantage of. And I know I've said it before in other videos, and I don't want to say this to alarm you or make you scared, but I'm just going to be honest. Not everybody acts with integrity, and that's just something we just all have to accept. So that's why arming yourself with knowledge, it may not stop it all the time, but it can help prevent it sometimes. So again, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.